I actually bought this dress in Italy 7 years ago. Oh my god, kill me. Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Stephanie here. I've been making a lot of content now for my YouTube channel that's going to be embedded on my blog because I'm working on my blog this summer because I'm hoping that by the time I'm French, I could just work for myself, and right now I'm actually killing it. Blog traffic is growing, so I have another very on-season relevant piece of content for you, which is a long debate. Which is better, the French Riviera or the Italian Riviera, and which one should you go on when you want to come to Europe for your beach summer, European vacation, summer holiday, whatever you want to call it. The blog post will go into further detail, but I think it's great to have a video to just show you some things visually, talk about some extra things that maybe you don't know about, and yeah, let's just jump right into it. Okay, so I went to, not like the Italian Riviera, like Ventimiglia, or I'm gonna say it wrong, like on the Menton side, you know, closer to the French Riviera, but I have been to Cinque Terre and I have a lot to say about it. In fact, I think it was my favorite place in everywhere in Italy that we went. 100%. We went everywhere in Italy. Unfortunately, don't have YouTube vlog because it was before I got this camera in 2019, so I don't have that. But we can just start off with kind of the basic things that you're probably wondering. First off, when it comes to atmosphere, the Italian Riviera is definitely more blue collar. It's grounded, it's more low key, it's more like chilling, you know, whereas the French Riviera does have, even though Nice isn't like Cannes or Monte Carlo, the whole French Riviera, all those villages in between, it has a very like posh, manicured, chic essence to it. I don't think you should let either of those prohibit you from going to either one. I just think, for instance, I could see someone probably like from California who enjoys like Santa Cruz and Santa Barbara and that kind of stuff. They might prefer the Italian Riviera more, right? And I could see someone from New York who likes Midtown and Fifth Avenue and all that kind of stuff. They might like the French Riviera more. At the end of the day, they're not vastly different, but they are different, if that makes sense. They're kind of like fraternal twins, you know? That's kind of the way that I would explain French Riviera and the Italian Riviera to somebody. That's the atmosphere. Those are the atmosphere differences in general. The Italian Riviera is just a little bit more laid back. It is much cheaper than the French Riviera, so that's something to keep in mind. And honestly, Italians, French, they're gonna come for me. I find the beaches on both to be the same. A lot of them don't have the most amazing beaches unless you go to certain locations, areas like Plage Mala and Nice, in Cap d'Agde, in between Nice and Monte Carlo. But like the beach in Nice on Promenade d'Anglais is very similar to the beaches in Cinque Terre. They're not like super sandy, they're very rocky, like in kind of like a little cove situation. Honestly, they look very, very, very similar. If you put side to side like a video of a beach somewhere in the French Riviera and a beach somewhere in Cinque Terre, it looks very, very similar, which makes sense because geographically they're very close next to each other. But that's for that. Like I said, cost in the French Riviera, French Riviera is more. I find hotels to cost more than French Riviera. I find food to cost more than French Riviera. I find train tickets, everything related, I do find it to be more expensive, which is not surprising because France is generally a more expensive country than Italy in general. Italy is one of the cheaper European countries, so that's something to keep in mind if you're planning on a budget or you're a backpacker, that kind of thing. You might want to go for the Italian Riviera. Like I said, I find beaches on both to be very, very similar. Accommodation, again, more expensive in the French Riviera for sure. Even in Nice, a hotel during high season, it runs you one person minimum. I think I paid like 170 euro or something like that when I went just recently in June, but it's not on the cheapest end, right? And the train ticket from Paris is like 200 euros each time. It's very expensive, not going to lie. I go continuously because I like it there and there's always something new to explore and do there, which is something that I don't have as much experience with the Italian Riviera, but I will say something that's great about making your base in Nice is that you can easily, ooh, my camera is blinking at me. But when I charged her for 5 minutes, I'm really hoping that's enough to get me through the rest of this video because I really want to be done and eat my brownie and ice cream and then go sit outside at the Eiffel Tower lawn. Okay, what I was saying about, is it blinking at me again? No? Okay. What I was saying about accommodation is that yes, it's cheaper in Italy, but because the French Riviera is more posh, I have found the hotels to be nicer in Nice, and I've stayed like from Hilton, from like things more not in touristic areas in Nice, whereas in Cinque Terre, I don't remember that many hotels within the 5 villages in Cinque Terre in general. We stayed in La Spiezza, and the accommodation in Italy in general is just more lower tier than in France. You know what I mean? It's just more, I'm not saying, people take this the wrong way. It's like put it this way. My mom loves fluffy towels. Italy does not have fluffy towels because they don't have dryers, because they do things hanging. I've lived in Europe for a lot of years. I've been traveling to Europe for a lot of years. Waffle towels don't bother me, but if it bothers someone like, you know, my mom, and it bothers you, you may not like accommodation in Italy. Food is another thing. Something that a lot of people don't know is that Nice once belonged to Italy. So all of those places along the French Riviera, in Nice, the street names are both in French and Italian, and there's a lot of Italian influence. You can have pizza and pasta. That kind of stuff is very prevalent there, albeit much more expensive than in Italy. It's much cheaper to have a glass of wine and have a meal in Italy than it is in France, period. But I will say, I think in general, it's a little easier to people please people at an Italian place or in Italy because kids love pizza and pasta. Whereas in France, it's more like typical café brasserie food that you'll find also here in Paris, like burgers, fries, French croque monsieur, like salads, all that kind of stuff. The camera battery is blinking me in again. So what else do I want to say? In terms of beauty, I personally think, don't come for me, personally think that the French Riviera is more jaw-dropping, just Eze and Vue-Franche-Mer and Monte Carlo even. It's not that Cinque Terre, the Italian Riviera isn't, it's just not as like eye-dropping stunning, I think, as the French Riviera. Family friendliness, honestly, both are crazy with family friendliness. Both had so many families when I went to go see. I don't think either is a problem at all. Don't let that come into account for your decision. Romance, this is my opinion. Again, I go for French Riviera because it is more like manicured and, I don't know, just like storybook-like, that it helps conceive the very romantic fairy tale image in your mind. Whereas, like I said, the Italian Riviera is more like rustic, laid back, blue collar vibe, which it's not that it's not romantic. I just think that the French Riviera is a little bit more romantic. And yeah, that's pretty much what I think of when it comes to the French Riviera versus the Italian Riviera. Let me know what you think. Yeah, this is just supposed to be a short recap video in my personal experience with seeing both. I know it could be hard because maybe I seem a little biased because I live in France, I'm about to become French, I speak French, and that is true. It's a comfort factor for me, but I would love to go to the Italian Riviera again when I have more money, and it wouldn't be hard because it is cheaper to enjoy, and I'd love to see like the other cities on the coast there. But yeah, those are just my impressions from traveling to both and what I think, and hopefully this video helps you decide a little bit which one might be the better vacation for you. So like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys when I go to Annecy in a week or two. Bye.